The Victorian house stood like a monument to love on Maple Street. 3 stories of warmth, with a wraparound porch and flower boxes her father had built 50 years ago. Every brick, every board held memories. Martha Williams sat in her favorite armchair by the window, knitting a baby blanket for the neighbor's grandchild. Her weathered hands moved slowly but steadily, the clicking of needles a peaceful rhythm. At 74, she moved carefully, but her mind was sharp and her heart was full. The front door burst open. "Move those boxes to the curb." "Yes, all of them." Linda Williams, 36, sharp business suit, designer heels, perfectly styled hair, stormed through the entrance with a real estate agent trailing behind her. "Ms. Williams, the staging company will be here tomorrow." "Good. I want this place listed by Friday. The market is hot, and I'm not waiting." Linda walked through the living room like she owned it. Which, technically, she was about to. "Linda." Martha looked up, confused. "What's all this noise?" Linda strode over and physically yanked the knitting from her mother's hands. Yarn scattered across the floor. "Stop acting like you're staying, Mom. The movers are coming tomorrow. This place is a gold mine, and I'm selling it." Martha's face went pale. "But, your father built this house. We raised you here. Where will I go?" "I found a nice facility. It's cheap, but it has a roof." Linda pulled a crumpled brochure from her designer bag and dropped it on Martha's lap. "Shady Pines Nursing Home. You move in tomorrow." "But Linda, I don't need a nursing home. I'm perfectly capable of." "You're 74. You can barely climb stairs. What if you fall? What if something happens?" Linda's voice was sharp. "I'm doing this for you." "You're doing this for the money," Martha whispered. Linda's face went cold. "This house is worth $800,000. I have plans, Mother. A life. Dreams. I'm not going to let them rot away because you're sentimental about some old wood and memories." She turned to the real estate agent. "Show me the comps for the neighborhood. I want maximum value." Martha clutched the nursing home brochure, tears streaming down her face. "Your father built this with his own hands." "Yeah, well, Dad's dead. And dead people don't pay bills." Linda checked her watch. "Pack what you can fit in 2 bags. Everything else gets donated or trashed." The next morning, Linda tore through the house like a tornado. Martha's belongings, 50 years of life, love, and memories, were stuffed carelessly into black garbage bags. Photo albums, her wedding china, the quilt her grandmother had made, all of it treated like trash. "Linda, please, not the photo album." Martha reached for it. Linda tossed it toward the garbage pile outside. "You don't need this junk where you're going. Travel light." Martha shuffled outside, retrieved the album with shaking hands, and held it to her chest. Inside were pictures of her wedding day, Linda as a baby, family Christmases, her husband's last birthday before the cancer took him. "You have 5 minutes." Linda shouted from inside. "The movers are here for your stuff." 2 bags, Mom. That's IT. Shady Pines Nursing Home looked nothing like the cheerful photos in the brochure. The building was gray, institutional, with flickering fluorescent lights and that unmistakable smell of antiseptic barely covering something worse. The staff at the front desk barely looked up when Linda and Martha entered. Linda dropped 2 garbage bags on the linoleum floor. "Martha Williams. She's checking in." A tired receptionist checked her clipboard. "Room 12. Down the hall, second door on the right." "Great. Thanks." Linda turned to leave. "Linda." Martha's voice was small. "Aren't you going to help me? You've got hands, don't you?" Linda was already walking toward the exit. "The staff will help you settle in. I've got a showing in an hour." A young nurse, Sarah Mitchell, 25, kind eyes, gentle smile, appeared from a side hallway. She saw Martha standing alone with her garbage bags, tears on her weathered face. "Ma'am? I'm Sarah. Let me help you with those." "She's your problem now," Linda called back. "Don't call me unless she's dead." The automatic doors closed behind her. Sarah stood frozen, shocked by what she'd just heard. Then she turned to Martha, her voice soft. "Let's get you settled, okay? I promise it's not as bad as it looks." But Martha was staring at the doors, at the daughter who'd just walked away without a hug, without an "I love you," without even a backward glance. "She used to be such a sweet little girl," Martha whispered. Sarah took her arm gently. "Come on. Let me show you your room. I'll make sure you're comfortable." 3 months later, Sarah had seen a lot of abandoned elderly patients in her 3 years at Shady Pines. But Martha broke her heart in a different way. Every day, Martha would sit in the common room, clutching her photo album, looking at pictures of the daughter who never visited, who never called, who'd erased her mother from her life the moment the house sold. "Tell me about this one," Sarah would say during her breaks, sitting beside Martha. "That's Linda's 5th birthday. We had a party in the backyard. Her father built her a treehouse that summer. She was so happy." Martha's eyes were distant. "I don't know what happened to that little girl." "People change," Sarah said gently. "Not always for the better." Sarah started spending extra time with Martha. She'd bring her tea, her favorite cookies. She'd listen to stories about Martha's late husband, about the house he'd built with his own hands, about raising Linda when money was tight but love was abundant. "You remind me of her," Martha said one day. "The Linda I remember. Before the world made her hard." Sarah squeezed her hand. "I'm honored." Meanwhile, Linda was living her best life. The house had sold for $850,000, even more than expected. She'd bought a luxury condo downtown, a new BMW, a wardrobe full of designer clothes. Her social media was filled with photos of expensive dinners, exotic vacations, champagne brunches. When Shady Pines called, she let it go to voicemail. "Ms. Williams, your mother has had a fall. Delete. Ms. Williams, we need to discuss your mother's medication. Delete. Ms. Williams, your mother is asking for you. Delete." She was too busy living the life she deserved, the life her mother's house had bought her. 6 months after admission, Martha's health began declining. Not dramatically, just the slow fade of someone who'd lost their reason to keep fighting. Sarah noticed immediately. "Martha, you need to eat. You love the chicken soup." "What's the point?" Martha stared out the window. "My daughter hasn't visited in 6 months. Hasn't called. Doesn't care if I'm alive or dead. Maybe dead would be easier." "Don't say that. I raised her alone after her father died. I worked 2 jobs to put her through college. I gave her everything." Martha's voice cracked. "And the moment I became inconvenient, she threw me away like garbage." Sarah made a decision. She called Linda from Martha's phone. It rang 4 times. "What?" Linda's voice was irritated. Loud music and laughter in the background. "Ms. Williams, this is Sarah Mitchell, your mother's nurse. She's not doing well. We think you should visit. I'm at a party. It's my birthday. Can this wait? Your mother is asking for you. Look, I'm busy living my life. You're getting paid to take care of her. So handle it." The line went dead. Sarah looked at Martha, who'd heard every word through the phone's speaker. "I'm sorry," Sarah whispered. Martha wiped her eyes. "Don't be. You've been more of a daughter to me in 6 months than Linda has been in 6 years. Thank you, Sarah, for seeing me, for caring." "Always," Sarah promised. That night, Martha made a phone call of her own, to a lawyer she'd known for 30 years. 2 weeks later, Martha Williams passed away peacefully in her sleep, with Sarah holding her hand. Not alone, not abandoned, loved. The funeral was small. A few residents from Shady Pines, the staff who'd cared for her. Sarah, who cried like she'd lost her own mother. And Linda, wearing designer black, checking her watch every 5 minutes. 1 week after the funeral, the law office of Patterson and Associates was tastefully decorated. Leather chairs, mahogany desk, walls lined with legal books. Linda sat across from elderly Mr. Patterson, her mother's attorney for 40 years. She wore black, but her eyes were bright with anticipation. "Let's make this quick," Linda said. "I have a spa appointment at 2. "Of course." Mr. Patterson adjusted his glasses. "We're just waiting for one more person." The door opened. Sarah walked in, wearing a simple dress, looking nervous and out of place. Linda's face twisted with disgust. "What is the help doing here?" "Ms. Mitchell was specifically requested in your mother's will," Mr. Patterson said calmly. "That's ridiculous. She's a nurse. She probably manipulated my mother." "Ms. Williams, please." Mr. Patterson opened a folder. "Let me read the will. Then you can ask questions." Linda crossed her arms, impatient. Mr. Patterson cleared his throat. "I, Martha Williams, being of sound mind and body, do hereby make my last will and testament. To my daughter Linda, who valued my house more than my heart, who threw me away when I became inconvenient, who never visited, never called, never cared. I leave the photo album she threw in the garbage. May she remember the family she destroyed." Linda shot to her feet. "What? Please sit down. I'm not finished." Mr. Patterson's voice was steel. "To Sarah Mitchell, who held my hand when I was scared, who listened to my stories when I was lonely, who gave me a home when I had none. I leave my entire estate. The proceeds from the sale of my house, held in trust, $850,000. My savings account, $125,000. My life insurance policy, $200,000. And my blessing. She is the daughter I wish I'd had. The room spun. Linda grabbed the desk. That's my money. She stole it. She manipulated a sick old woman. Your mother was perfectly lucid when she made these changes. Mr. Patterson pulled out a tablet. In fact, she recorded a video. Would you like to see it? He pressed play. Martha's face filled the screen. She sat in her room at Shady Pines, Sarah just barely visible in the background, holding the camera. Linda, if you're watching this, I'm gone. And you're probably angry. Good. Maybe you'll finally feel something. Martha's voice was strong, clear. You took my house. You threw me away. You erased me from your life the moment I became inconvenient. You never visited. Never called. You told the staff not to contact you unless I was dead. Well, I'm dead now. Happy. Linda's face was white. Sarah was the daughter you should have been. She cared for me. Listened to me. Loved me. So I'm leaving her everything. The house money. The savings. All of it. You get the photo album, the one you threw away. Look at those pictures, Linda. Look at the little girl you used to be before greed destroyed your heart. Goodbye. The screen went black. Linda exploded. I'll sue. This is elder abuse. She was senile. She was evaluated by 2 independent doctors the day before she changed her will. Both certified she was of sound mind. Mr. Patterson handed Sarah an envelope. Ms. Mitchell, here are the documents. The estate is yours. Congratulations. Sarah took the envelope with shaking hands. I never wanted, I just cared about her. I know. That's exactly why she chose you. Mr. Patterson smiled. Martha was very clear. You gave her love when her own daughter gave her nothing. She wanted you to have the life you deserve. Linda lunged forward, trying to grab the papers. She was my mother. Mine. You don't get to. Security appeared at the door. Ms. Williams, you need to leave, Mr. Patterson said firmly. This isn't over. I'll fight this. You'll lose. The will is ironclad. Your mother's video testimony is damning. If you pursue this, I'll countersue for the emotional distress you caused Martha in her final months. The staff at Shady Pines will testify. We have records of every ignored phone call. His voice was cold. You have nothing. Accept it. Linda was escorted from the building, screaming threats, her designer heels clicking frantically on marble floors. 2 months later, Sarah stood on the wraparound porch of the Victorian house on Maple Street. It had taken some of Martha's money to buy it back from the new owners. They'd been understanding when they heard the story. Inside, Sarah had restored everything. Martha's favorite armchair by the window. The photo album, cleaned, restored, displayed on the mantel. The quilt. The wedding china. Every memory Martha had treasured. Sarah had quit Shady Pines and started a foundation, the Martha Williams Home for Abandoned Elderly, using the inheritance to create a place where forgotten seniors could live with dignity, love, and family. She looked at the photo of Martha on the mantel. I hope I'm making you proud. Outside, a car pulled up. Linda sat in her aging BMW. The condo was gone, sold to pay legal bills from her failed lawsuit. The designer clothes were gone, sold on consignment websites. The lifestyle was gone, evaporated like the inheritance she'd counted on. She stared at the house through the window. The house she'd sold. The mother she'd abandoned. The life she'd destroyed through greed. Sarah saw her and walked to the porch railing. Their eyes met through the gate. Sarah didn't gloat, didn't smile, just looked at her with something like pity. Then she turned and went back inside. Into the warmth. Into the home filled with Martha's love. Linda sat in her car, the photo album, her only inheritance, on the passenger seat. She opened it slowly. Pictures of a smiling little girl. A loving mother. A family that had been whole before greed had shattered it. She started to cry, but it was too late. Too late for apologies. Too late for redemption. Too late for everything. She threw away her mother for money. The money went to someone who saw her mother's worth. Karma doesn't forget. Neither should we. Drop a like if you believe actions have consequences. Subscribe to Heartfelt Wealth Tales for more stories about family, karma, and justice. Comment below. Would you forgive Linda? Or did she get exactly what she deserved? Remember, the way you treat your parents reveals who you really are. Love them while you can. Honor them always. Because one day, it'll be too late to make things right.